Gilas-Pilipinas head coach Chot Reyes remains realistic in his expectations even after beating the odds in qualifying for the FIBA World Cup in Spain. Gilas landed in a tough bracket against powerhouse teams such as Argentina and Greece. However, Reyes says the team will bank on their passion as they represent the country in the basketball world stage. Reyes admits advancing in the tournament is a challenge considering that the team has limited time to practice. Gilas is set to fly to Wuhan, China on Thursday for the 5th FIBA Asia Cup.
The real thing is, the honest answer is no. I don't think there's any way we can bring home that championship. The World Championship trophy, no way. Ilalaban namin po ito ng patayan. We will fight till we cannot fight anymore with all our hearts for our country. Laban Pilipinas, puso. Maraming salamat po.
Joining us in the studio for the first time, and it's finally you're here with us.
It's not over the phone.
It's not over the phone. The Dean, Quinito Henson. Good evening, Quinito.
Good evening to both of you, and it's great to be here.
It's awesome to have you here. Finally, in the flesh. He's right here. Okay, let's talk about Gilas before we jump into game number 5. Obviously, you heard Coach Chot. He said we don't have a chance of winning the trophy because it's just important to note that was during the FIBA Trophy Tour, so the trophy was was there on display. So that's why he referred to that. But realistically speaking, they're also going to go to Wuhan. Let's talk about Wuhan first.
Okay.
What are your thoughts? Obviously, the team hasn't really been practicing that much. They got a new recruit in Jay Wash.
They still have players who are in the PBA finals.
The players in the PBA finals won't be going with them to Wuhan. But what are your thoughts for this coming tournament? Because Coach Chot said he's just going to use it to practice.
That's right. It's a makeshift team. They're bringing in Kevin Alas and Garvo Lanete, and Bo Belga and Paul Lee are committed to play.
Yeah.
So right after the PBA finals, they're flying with the team to Wuhan. There are 9 teams performing in Wuhan. China will be there, Chinese Taipei, Iran, Jordan will be there, and Jordan is in our bracket. We all know who the Jordan coach is. That's Raiko Toraman.
Yes.
But they're not bringing their full lineup. Zaid Abbas won't be there. Sam Douglas, I think, also won't be there. Both of them are undergoing therapy in Germany. So I think the other teams are also treating this as a tune-up tournament for possible competitions in the future. But the winner of this Asia Cup will automatically get a ticket to the FIBA Asia Championships next year. And of course, we all know that's the qualifier for the 2016 Olympics. By the way, we are bidding for that.
Yeah.
Not only that, we're bidding for the 2019 World Cup.
Yes.
And it's a major thing that we're aspiring for, but I was with Paul Simpson, and he was your guest here the other night.
Yeah.
I was with Paul Simpson in a meeting with Mr. Pangilinan last night, and Mr. Pangilinan affirmed we are very serious in our bids for the FIBA Asia Championships next year and the 2019 FIBA World Cup.
That's going to be something.
I mean, considering what happened last year.
And that's just Asia. But imagine if the World Cup comes here to the Philippines.
Well, think about the World Cup in 2019. There are going to be 32 teams. Right now, there are 24. And talking to Paul, he was saying that, you know, the magnitude of the World Cup, you're talking of, in the preliminary stage, 40, maybe 20 commentary positions to 40, and then going up to 80 commentary positions. When the playoffs come around, all the way to the finals, and then you have to make room for your parking for maybe 7 to 8 OB vans.
Yeah.
800 media, 500 VIP guests. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we were discussing it with Paul, and he seemed really excited. Like he almost wants it to be.
He's very fascinated with the basketball culture here. I think he loves it, though.
Yeah, who doesn't?
I think the passion of the Philippines, and plus he was saying the images that were portrayed, that were picked up from the FIBA Asia Championships, went viral worldwide. I mean, now the world of basketball has embraced the Philippines for its love and passion for the game. Maybe that might have been uncovered only last year. Because remember, we were suspended for many years.
Yes.
So we were out of the international scene for many, many, many years. Mr. Pangilinan, in fact, yesterday I was kind of happy. He mentioned that when the Philippine basketball got off the ground again with the SBP in 2006, 2007, the FIBA Secretary General, Patrick Baumann, said, well, you know, it will take about 10 years for the Philippines to get back to the international scene. And he was saying 2016 is the realistic target. Hey, we're 2 years early.
Right on the money.
We're in the FIBA World Cup 2 years ahead of schedule.
Okay. Well, of course, a while ago, Coach Shot mentioned that there's no way we're bringing home the World Cup trophy. But from your point of view, let's say the Philippines is on such a high, coming from the FIBA Asia, from winning, for qualifying for the FIBA World Cup. And then here comes Coach Shot tempering those expectations, saying, okay, hold on, we don't think we're going to bring that trophy home.
Oh, we certainly won't bring the trophy home. I mean, we're talking about powerhouses like the US and Spain. But the realistic target is for us to make it to the second round.
Yeah.
If we just make it past the group stage, I mean, we're there.
Yeah.
But that means we're not even assured. 2 wins in the group stage may not even make it to the next round. I was looking at the statistics of the last World Championships, or the World Cup in Turkey. And China had a 1-4 record in the preliminaries, but made it to the next round because there was a triple tie at 1-4, and they had the highest quotient. So with 1 victory, you might be able to advance. At the same time, over in one group, Angola and Germany both had 2 wins. One of them didn't qualify.
Yeah.
It was Angola that went in and not Germany. So 2 wins won't be a guarantee. 1 win might even get you there.
Depends on the group.
It depends on how many wins are chalked up by the other teams in the bracket.
You've been with this team. You even went to Spain with Coach Chot and members of SBP to look around the hotels, the facility, and so on and so forth. But what's the type of vibe that you get from Coach Chot heading into the tournament? Because I know you already mentioned to me before that we picked a team to be not really roommates with, but hotel mates with when we hit Seville.
Oh, Coach Chot's attention to detail is phenomenal.
Yes.
He doesn't leave any stone unturned. Even the number of his room was personally chosen. I think we've also made sure that in our wing of the hotel, where the 6 teams are going to be billeted, we're going to be siding with Argentina.
Yes.
We don't want to side with Senegal. I mean, I don't want to be discriminatory, but we feel that we're not going to be a match for Argentina, with or without Manu. I understand Manu has a stress fracture, so he may not be able to play. But, the team has Scola, the team has Prigioni, Carlos Delfino may be able to play. But even without Delfino, they'll be a tough match for us. So we want to be on their good side.
Yes.
And as far as the other teams, I think we have a good chance with Senegal. They're tall, they're big,
Raw.
they're wild.
Yeah.
But they have a couple of NBA players. So you have to watch out for Senegal. And Puerto Rico, as Paul Simpson said, they can go one way, they can go the other way. I think the idea is to give the ball to Balkman and make him beat the Philippines by himself. Then we have a chance.
He's going to want to do that. He's going to want to absolutely do that.
And then Croatia, that's our first game.
Yeah.
And Philippines has the element of surprise on our side. No one can get a tape of the Philippines playing with Blach.
Yes.
Simply because
we don't
have
it.
it hasn't happened with Blach, but it can work both ways. It'll be a surprise element for our opposition, but at the same time, it'll be a surprise element for us too.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that Blach is on the same page as our locals. And if that happens, and Coach Chot has a plan to have as many as maybe 15 tune-up games, I think Blach, knowing the kind of player he is, will be accustomed to our plays, and vice versa with our locals. I think he's a good fit for our team.
I want to ask you, Coach, looking at this team, you have your 3 point guards, as it is right now. Okay, without any of the adjustments for the final lineup. I know Coach Chot said he has no idea who's going to be in the final lineup, but looking at the 3 small guards, is that size-wise in the backcourt, that's kind of small when it comes to international basketball. Do you think that maybe a Jared Dillinger, a Paul Lee, or some of the bigger guards could possibly take the spot of one of those 3 guys that helped us qualify in the FIBA
I don't think so. I think Gabe Norwood is a combination guard. I mean, he's a combo guard. He can guard the point guard of the other team. He can defend a 3. He can defend a 4. So I think we've got a lot of players who can play multiple positions. We'll want to keep Jason and Jimmy there because They're streak shooters, and they've got speed. I think with Blatch in the mix, if he's able to control those defensive boards and throw the outlet, we're going to outrun and outspeed the opposition. That is the game of Gilas. And for me, if we're able to establish our tempo, if we've got the style going, if we're running up and down, and those big guys from Croatia like Tomic, who's 7'2", if they're not, I know they have big strides, but if they're not able to keep up with the running game, and if we've got Blatch pitching those outlets, we can score in fast breaks, and then at the same time, we can also get the shooters good looks.
Yeah.
Because if we're running, it'll be difficult for the defense to set up and close out on our shooters.
So the secondary break will be big for us.
I think so. I think Blatch is the main guy.
Okay.
If he's able to contribute about 30 points a game, and our shooters get hot, especially against Croatia in our first game, no one will have scouted us.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
We might be able to pick up that win, and then maybe get Puerto Rico in the bag, and then Senegal in our last game.
And then we go second in.
We're through. We're through.
Aim for the stars.
All
Let's
right.
do it.
Puso,
Let's do it.
puso.
Puso. Okay. We'll have more from Quinito as we break down Game 5 of the PBA Finals when we return. This is a Solar Sports Desk. Keep it here. Of course, what better way to dissect game number 5, the last game of the season, than picking the brain of the dean himself, Quinito Henson.
Well, I'm excited. I'm also glad that I'm doing the game tomorrow.
Perfect that you're
If we
here.
had finished in game 4, wala na. But, you know, it's 50-50. And the reason why I say it's 50-50 is because both teams have won 2 games. But I've also noticed that there's only one statistic that is a common denominator for every winning team so far in this series, and that's field goal percentage. Meaning to say, if a team is able to execute its offense, then they're going to be shooting at a higher clip. And if they're able to execute on defense, then they'll be able to hold the other team to a lower field goal percentage.
Yeah.
And that's been the key. It's the execution. Whether you're able to play your style or whether you play the other team's style. And I think for Rain or Shine, they showed it in game number 4. They played physical, which is their style. They didn't play physical in game 3, which they lost.
Yeah.
They played physical, and then Coach Yang Giao had everybody contributing, not just Arizona Reed. And it's interesting that in the games that Rain or Shine lost in this series, Arizona Reed has averaged over 30 points. In the games that they've won, Arizona Reed has averaged 24 points.
Which means the other players are involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you remember in game number 3, when Rain or Shine lost, Arizona Reed had 31 points. No local was in double figures. What's going on? You need to be able to get the locals involved. They're the key of this series, not the imports.
When we talk about this series, of course, once again, classic matchup: Coach Yang versus Coach Tim, Rain or Shine versus the Grand Slam seeking San Mig Coffee. And tomorrow, there's no day after. There's no Game 6. There's nothing. And based on history, though, we have to lean towards San Mig Coffee taking this based on history, because the last person who got a Grand Slam was actually Coach Tim also.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're very well versed with the PBA history. You're very well versed with both coaches. How do you see this game going tomorrow?
Well, if you look at trends, definitely the trends show that San Mig Coffee has the edge. I think they haven't lost in a knockout game in the last 9 knockout games, and this is a knockout game.
Yeah.
It's a do or die. Plus, they have the championship poise. They've won the last 3 conferences, and Coach Tim Cone has been there. He's savored the sweet taste of victory, and so have his players. When you need big plays, he's got the players who can deliver, and they've got the poise, they've got the composure to do it. But Rain or Shine is just an unpredictable entity, and that's because of Coach Yang Giao. He changes his starting units from game to game. It's so untraditional, and it works.
Yeah.
But the key is every player on both sides must be present and accounted for. I've always felt that the 2 locals who play integral and key roles for Rain or Shine are Gabe Norwood and Paul Lee. They were missing in action in game number 3. Both of them only had 2 points. Both of them combined 0 out of 5 from 3-point distance. Both of them combined had 0 out of 3 from the free throw line. I mean, what's going on? Those guys who were not present in game 3, Arizona Reed was the only guy in double figures, and Rain or Shine lost. But in game number 4, we all know what Norwood and Lee did. Both of them scored 14 points apiece. Arizona Reed sacrifices offense to get the locals involved. They had 5 players in double figures, and they won. Back in game number 1, San Miguel Coffee had 7 players in double figures, and they won, even if they won by only 3. The fact that they were able to get locals involved in the offense, it means a lot. It makes a big difference.
Now, looking at Arizona Reed, because we stressed this also when Dominic was here, AZ Reed is the type of guy who can do a lot of things. And one of the things that Coach Yang said that when we spoke to him on the phone, also in the show, is that it depends on who's hot at what given point or what game. And he said if Arizona Reed is feeling it, they kind of go to him and just try and let him do his thing. Is this the wise thing to do come game number 5?
Well, I think that the coaches are playing a chess match, and they are so good at baiting. For instance, I felt that Rain or Shine did a super job in game number 4 in baiting Marcus Blakely to try to beat Rain or Shine by himself. What happened? Blakely scored in double figures. He had 21 points. By the way, the games that they won, he didn't even score 20. So he scored over 20 points, he scored 21, and they lost because only one local in the San Miguel Coffee side scored in double figures. They baited him to try to do it on his own, and that's not San Miguel Coffee's game.
No.
You need the ball to move around, get everybody involved, get a lot of touches, minimum dribble, work the triangle, get the spacing. That didn't happen because Marcus Blakely wanted to take the game over by himself. You remember, in the second quarter of game number 5, 17 points were scored by San Miguel Coffee in that quarter. Guess what? Marcus Blakely had 15 of those 17. That's Yengia for you. He's baiting Blakely. Try to beat us by yourself. Don't get the ball to James. Don't get the ball to PJ. Don't get the ball to Ping. You try to do it by yourself. And then they'll win.
Yep.
It's baiting. It's strategy. It's mind games.
And it's two of the best in the business, too.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We read replies to our Twitter topic of the night and maybe put Quinito on the spot when we return. This is the Solar Sports Desk. Keep it here.
You do something before every game that you cover, and you do this thing that's called the Dean's List.
Right.
And of course, this is something that people look forward to, especially in the PBA. But what is your Dean's List for tomorrow?
Well, I can't divulge because that'll be a surprise for tomorrow. But
Okay.
I can more or less tell you what I have in mind. I actually haven't really sat down and figured it out. I usually do that deep into the night. But I do the Dean's List because it's a script that the viewers can follow for them to be able to have a better appreciation of the game. And I think for Rain or Shine, for them to win, they need to be able to establish their physical game right from the start. And that means defense. I think it's important that their outside shooters are hot because in the games that they've won, they've averaged over 11 three-point makes a game. So they need to be hot from the outside. I think Jeff Chan also has to be there for them, not only Gabe and Paul. Jeff Chan had only 2 points last time out. That means he's due for an explosion. But think of it. He only had 2 points in Game 5 and still in Game 4, and they won. Now, for San Miguel Coffee, I think it's important that they play their game, meaning to say the passing game. Establish that triangle. Get everyone moving. Get everyone with the touches. Not Marcus Blakely alone. It's got to be James Yap, PJ Simon. And what Coach Tim does so well is that he manages the time of his players so efficiently. He brings in his speed unit, Melton, Malyari, Baroka, and they provide continuity in the offense and also unpredictability. He's got a very structured offense and defense with his starting 5. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose with the second unit. But what the second unit does is that they set the table for the late game. And in the late game, that's when the starters come back and get the job done. They finish it off. And if they can do that, then Game 5 is theirs, the Grand Slam is theirs. But Rain or Shine, very unpredictable. You know that Coach Yang Giao knows exactly what's in the mind of Coach Tim Cohn. It's going to be an exciting battle. You can't miss a single second of Game 5.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
And we will be here in the studio.
Yeah,
That should
watching
be
it
fun.
probably on the big screen. If it's not
gonna be
over
great.
yet. If it's, but okay, I know we're going to be running out of time soon, but I just want one question. Bo Belga was seen wearing a walking boot earlier today. How big an issue is this if he is not 100% for tomorrow.
Well, if he's not 100%, that'll be a big, big issue for Coach Yang Yao. But at the same time, having said that, Rain or Shine is so adjustable.
Yeah.
They have bigs, they have a very deep lineup. If Yang Yao is able to get his player rotation in sync, they may not even miss Bo Belga, so long as Arizona Reed is able to take his spot and protecting the rim and protecting the inside. I think it's a matter of adjustment and resiliency. And Coach Yang Yao, he's very resilient.
Yes,
he's
he
very
is.
unpredictable.
Yes,
but
he is.
San Mig Coffee has that championship poise. And that's why I say it's 50-50 tomorrow. It's going to be so exciting. I'm expecting over 20,000. There were 17,000 in Game 3, 18,000 in Game 4. I think it's going to be over the roof in Game 5.
And with like 5 overtimes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Quinito. And hopefully
for
we see
having
you
me.
back here in the studio again.
Yeah.
Instead of
soon.
over the phone. It's more
Sometime soon.
fun.
It's more,
in
I know
person.
you traveled fairly far to get here, so
Yes.
we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
you.
Quinito.
Thanks.